What is up, traders? This is Malik Popal. This is Fire Water Trading, and today I'm going to show you why you are not profitable. I'm going to show you why in this very simple game of trading you keep losing your way. All right. Coming into the game of trading, one looks at it as a very simple level, right? And it just makes so much sense to get involved in this game, because if you just apply simple logic, it's not a game that cannot be won. I know that you guys are there because you're watching this video. You look at it and you go, what are the fundamentals of trading? It seems simple. We observe a fundamental pattern, a repeatable pattern in the markets. We simply create a risk management structure that makes us win more than we lose, or make us win more often than we lose. And then we're just consistent in that execution. If we do those three things, observe the pattern, create a solid risk management structure, and consistently apply that to the markets, the buckets of gold will fall into our laps. But unfortunately, something called consistency is a problem that is universal in any career, in any path in life. Consistency is something quite hard to hold up. But being a profitable trader and being consistent in the market is not only dependent on your ability to have a consistent trading plan. You need to have a holistic system that incorporates a whole bunch of other things. The system is about ensuring that your environment is consistent. If you have relationships or unstable place to stay, or maybe your kitchen's not set up properly, these foundational ingredients to your life will basically destroy your consistency in the markets. So without that, you're already tripping up, right? Without a physical consistency, without you being able to show up to the markets with the same level of energy, without you being tired or lethargic or sick, so feeling strong, feeling healthy. We all know that the next one, being mentality, is also linked to physicality. If you're unable to be consistently physically optimum, you can't be consistent in the markets. Of course, being mentally consistent is super important. What are you doing prior to trading? Are you doing some heavy lifting? Have you kind of worn down your battery bar of your brain before entering? You want to be at the same level of enthusiasm, focus, energy, mental clarity entering into every single market. You want to have all your ideas solidified on the tip of your brain. You want to have your strategy well executed, well lubricated, and that all requires a system. You want to also be entering and doing your trading at the same time of day. This is for two reasons. One being, some people are better at focusing at certain times of the day, morning people and evening people basically. But not only that, focusing on the same time periods of the market is super important, because the market presents different levels of volume, and different levels of volume and characteristics and behavior happen throughout the times of the day. So if you want to be consistent, you need to look for your patterns consistently at a certain window of price action. The last thing is trading. You need to ensure that your system can be consistent by having strict set of rules that you're applying on the daily to execute your trades. Every single one of these categories is a system that you need to develop to create a wider holistic system. I've given a little importance rating to these different ingredients in my system, which is trading being 10. If my trading system bends or flips or changes, all of it else, everything else is irrelevant. Doesn't matter what my mental capacity is, physical strength, all of that just goes out the window. Environment, it can be super important, maybe less so for others, but I tell you, if you have a noisy environment, you have a stressful environment, you can forget the rest of it. Physical, I've given a 9. Mental, a 9. Time of day, a 9 for what I'm personally doing. Some people trade, and it's not important the time of day because of the kind of setups that they're looking for. But specifically, I'm scalping the markets. I'm looking for the same opportunities. Time of day is well up there. So this is just a little indication here, guys, of what it looks like to get a system-based process mindset as opposed to a profit-based mindset. Are you seeking to make money in the markets, or are you seeking to make a system that works? Because we all know it's your attachment to money that is screwing you up. And the only way that you can escape that trap is to create a system, a focused process. And that means that if you tick off every box of your system, that means you've had a green day, you're celebrating, regardless of profit or loss. Maybe you lost half your account, whatever it is, shouldn't matter. Your dopamine, your sense of success in the markets has to be derived from your process success, not from your P&L account, balance level, right? So it shows you if we get all of these things in a row, it's a green day. If we skip one of them, if we mess up one, if I get my environment right, my physicality right, my mental right, my time of day right, but I screw up on my trading plan, total red day. And it just shows you why it's so difficult, because the reality is with your holistic system, if you miss one of them, if one of them messes out, there's a high likelihood that your system fails. And when your system fails, you basically destroy your consistency. You're unable to be consistent in the markets. So a true green day is not based off your profit. It's based on whether or not your system has been upheld through all of the different activities. So again, this is a very important thing to kind of zero in on once we start really flipping ourselves into this mindset. A profitable week looks like you had consistently executed systems throughout every single day of the week. So that's what it would look like. And we have this expectation that we're just going to be perfect, but life's not like that. So many things come up in life that destroy every aspect of our little system here. And so the reality is that our days end up looking a bit like this. We hit and miss. That's just on our system. So if we're having expectations on our profit results to be phenomenal, but our system is failing on the daily, it's like you're going to be in delusional land, right? If you're unable to be consistent in the system, you can forget about your P&L. Because the most important thing to realize is that your system results and your trading results are uncorrelated in the short term. So let's zoom in here and zero in on this idea, okay? So what you have here is your trades. So this is trade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 11, and there you go. And then so this is what your trading results might look like, and this is what your system results look like. You see that your trading results are going to be, for the most part, irregular and irrational. But there will be a gist of continuation and growth. We want a slow expectation that the curve is going to grow. Our system results is also going to be looking like that. But we want to have these guys correlated over the long term. But they are not going to correlate. You might get every single thing right in your system. You might set up for the day perfect, you're sharp as hell, you got your coffee and you got your exercise sorted, your environment super sorted, you execute the trade as and when you said you would, but you ended up with the loss. Those are the situations where we are vulnerable to the next part of this conversation. But as you can see here, if we're focused on this, it's way healthier for our psychology, and it's way more true to the idea of trading, guys, because the reality is, if you are not consistently using mathematics, right, your edge, your probabilities of success to gain progress in the market, you're simply gambling. The minute that you change your trading strategy, the minute that you alter one of these systems, you are now completely eroding the foundation of your approach to making money in the markets. The foundation is that you are applying a mathematical edge to make money in the markets. And that mathematical edge is dependent on consistent variables as the inputs. So if you change those variables, you destroy the whole thing. The minute you make an execution that is outside of this plan, outside of your system, you have degenerately moved towards being a gambler. Now, how do we prevent this? What is the main thing that I see as that is messing up traders, that also mess me up? There's this idea of shadow trading. Shadow trading is the same thing that we find in life where we dip into shameful, dishonorable activities. There are moments where in the blink of an eye, we decide to escape the rules. We decide to slip away from our structure that is protecting us, that is holding us true and honorable to our path, and we make poorer and poorer decisions. So the reason that happens is because the pain of temporary loss in the markets, the pain of losing profit, of seeing a random obscure number on a chart go from something that is high into something that is low, we associate a pain to that. And our response is to avoid or just discard our whole long-term plan that we got going on, our whole mathematical edge response, our whole trading edge, our whole probabilities game, to then focus on correcting that loss, right? So what will happen in a short space of time is that we might make an exception rule. We might go, okay, well, it's just this one time. I can see that the setup's happening. I just got wicked out, and although it's not really my execution, I got wicked out this time. I'm sure if I entered in here, this market's gone high enough, it's gone low enough, we're definitely going to finally get our turnaround. I'll just do it this once. The problem is with that, even if you win, what you've done is destroy your entire data set, for example, like in an instance. So now you've completely destroyed the foundation of your trading game, which is that you're applying a consistent mathematical edge against the market to achieve profit. So the minute you've made an exception rule, you fucked it up. And if that exception rule is wins, or whether it loses, it's still a fuck up. Because what you're doing is now incorporating a new data set, and you're creating a new habit into your current edge, which is going to throw the whole thing out of the water. It's no longer it's going to be meaningless. You're now no longer a trader, you're a gambler. And so what I noticed within Discord groups and chat groups is that they'll very happily share the trades that were to the trading plan that they're learning to, and they execute them, and they got no problems casting that into the light for human observation. But the thing is like when these moments of pain occur, we do these. We very specifically enter in trades that we're not proud of sharing. And this is such an important thing, regardless of trading. It goes on to the wider life, which is about conscience congruence, ensuring that our actions are matching our conscience. If we start to take actions that are against our conscience, against our greater sense of honor and decency and correctness, then what we end up doing is not only slipping into a shame sort of energy vibration, which is a very low state of being, but we put ourselves at risk to even further destruction. And the markets have a way of disciplining you so quickly for stepping into this state of being, which is why, I mean, trading is beyond just a career or whatever it is. It's a spiritual pursuit, because what you're doing essentially is learning how to be congruent, to be honorable, to be truthful, to say what you're going to do and follow up with it. So the shadow trading, what you see I've done, and I know a lot of traders will happen is they'll take a loss and they will experiment. They'll decide that their edge needs tweaking because today it didn't work out. So they'll have a little tweak and they'll put some random data sets into their thing that don't correlate to the strategy whatsoever. And they start to create a habit. And once you start creating this habit, guys, once you start creating this habit of shadow trading, you create a neurological pathway that likes to slip into this type of behavior every time you deal with the pain of loss. It likes to slip into this destructive, creative, inventive mindset, which is going to create all sorts of opportunities. But the thing is, there's a correlation towards that creative mindset and fear. So you're both going to be seeing loads of opportunities, but you're also going to be having intense fear. That fear is created from you not acting congruently with your conscience. You know you shouldn't be doing it. So even if you enter and you've got all this logic supporting it, there's a background knowledge of self, knowing that you are not behaving correctly, and that creates intense fear. So now you've got two of the worst possible traits happening at the same time, which is intense hope and intense fear at the same time. So you're going to hopefully enter in a trade. Then you're going to stress your hell out. You're going to pull out early. You're going to enter again. And then all of these symptoms of FOMO, revenge trading, all of them will be a consequence because you basically decided to slip into the shadow once. You opened the door and the shadows came rushing in. The demons came flying out. So how do we prevent this, guys? How do we stop this core piece of behavior that is messing us up? Shadow illumination. The greatest tool for any trader is to have accountability. The things that you guys have, you know, when you're trading in your room by yourself with no one else around, as opposed to these market wizards, guys sitting on Wall Street, is that every single trade is getting looked at by the big boss. Every single moment is scrutinized, and not only that, those trades determine whether you continue your job or not. There's like a sense of urgency about every trade. There's an observability. This Hawthorne effect shows us that humans behave differently when we know that we are being observed. We behave better. Why? Because we know that we are way more attached and in tune with our conscience. We try to act and accord in life in a way in which we believe is going to be accepted. And the best way that we can really tap into a conscious mindset is to frame our decisions based in a communal sense of, would the community agree with this decision? Can I honorably and proudly put this decision on a table in which the community will agree? So the most important thing to do is, in Discord or whatever it might be, create the habit that every single trade is a event. It's something that you share. You force yourself to, whether a shadow trade or not, post it publicly. Because not only are your shadow trades now going to be posted publicly, you're going to start to get really wounded by the pain of being a reckless human being, a dishonorable human being, because the motivation that comes from that will eradicate. I promise you, it'll shine a light into those shadows and they will no longer exist. So yeah, shine a light into the shadows. Have an accountability partner, whether it be your mentor, whether it be a Discord. Be radically truthful and honest, not only with yourself, but with the outside world, with someone else. And that is the only way that you're going to be able to really be consistent. So yeah, guys, I mean, in summary, the most important things for us to be focused on are these simple fundamentals of trading. And when we lose the simple fundamentals of trading, we get lost upon our way. We start thinking about strategies. We keep trying to correct the pain of loss. And we keep blaming our strategy when it's really not the strategy's problem at all. The problem is that you're unable to be consistent in a holistic process. That's the only thing, guys. I've explored so many different skills in life, whether it be making music or blacksmithy. The people that do well and don't do well in these fields have nothing to do with the cleverness of their heads. It has everything to do with whether or not they're able to be consistent. I promise you, if you wanted to be the best guitar player in the world, what is needed is not that you sit and do an hour's worth of practice a day. If you did 5 minutes of practice a day, but you were consistent for 3 years, you would be better than 90% of guitar players. 5 minutes a day is all it takes, guys. And no one can do it. And I'm telling you, no one can do it, but every single person that's attempted to do it has wanted it with all their heart. They've wanted nothing more than to be successful in that thing, but they weren't able to do the very simple thing of being consistent. So it just shows you the issue of life in general, guys, not only with trading, is consistency. The only way to get consistent as a trader is to ensure that you are process focused, that your only thing that you're looking to do is to have a rock solid, consistent approach to the market. You determine what your trading execution plan is. You try to control as many of the external systems and consistent variables that input your ability to execute on that plan. And that's the only focus that you need to focus on. This P&L, up, down, left, right, who gives a shit? Doesn't matter. The only thing is, how many green days in a row can you get? How many perfect days of your environment being squared, your mentality being squared, your physicality being squared, you've entered in the right time of day, and you did what you planned? I promise you right now, if you're not profitable, you can't manage 5 days in a row without slipping up. Because if you just did that for 1 month, it would be your first freaking profitable month. Anyway, guys, many blessings to you on your journey. I hope this video has been of value. If you did enjoy this video, why not hit subscribe, find a like. I got a lot of content to come out in the future. So yeah, many blessings to you. Hope this video finds you. Catch you later.